I'm Scott Hansen. I'm a professor at Southern Utah University, and this module of SolidWorks will include instruction on how to create 3 simple parts, and then those parts will be used in an assembly that uses the mechanical mate command. Now this will be similar to what was done in the piston assembly in previous modules, but it will be a little bit different. So move our cursor up to the little white piece of paper, left click once, we'll left click on part, we'll left click on OK. We'll left click on the sketch tab if it hasn't already been selected. Left click on the sketch icon. We'll left click on the front plane. And then we'll right click and left click on display grid. Then we'll start by using the line command. We'll left click on line and we'll sketch out a similar looking piston case as to used in the previous modules, and then we'll dimension that. So we'll left click on the smart dimension icon, we'll left click on the left side line, we'll enter a 1, then we'll hit the green check mark. Now if geometry gets crossed as shown, simply make sure you're not on any of the commands. You move your cursor over the line that you want to move or relocate. You left click holding the left mouse button down and just drag that line down to where it's supposed to be. A lot of beginning users don't care for the geometry getting crossed, but it really is not a big deal. So we'll left click on the green check mark and we'll left click on the smart dimension, left click on this bottom line, we'll enter a 1. We'll enter 3.25 for the total length, and then we'll enter a 0.25 for this right side length. Then we'll left click on the green check mark. Then we'll right click, left click on exit sketch, we'll left click on the features tab, left click on extrude, and we'll extrude that to a distance of 1. We'll left click on the green check mark. We'll left click out here in the workspace to hide that sketch. Then we'll push the mouse wheel down, rotate the part up, and we have a little more work to do on this particular part. First thing we'll do is add fillets to the back edge of it so it cleans up the look a little bit. So we'll left click on fillet, make sure our dot's in full preview, left click on each one of these edges and we'll enter 0.5, and then we'll left click on the green check mark. Now we'll move our cursor over the inside edge, inside surface. When it becomes highlighted, left click once, right click, sorry, then left click on sketch, and we'll move our cursor up here to the circle command. We'll left click on circle, move our cursor to the very edge of the fillet radius. The center of the fillet radius will appear. We'll move our cursor down to that center, left click one time, and we'll drag out a circle. Left click, right click, select. We'll left click on smart dimension. We'll move our cursor over the edge of the circle. We'll left click one time. We'll drag that dimension out, left click and placing it. Enter 0.25. And we'll left click on the green check mark. Then we'll right click, left click on exit sketch, we'll left click on extrude, and we'll just go with the 1-inch extrusion distance. We'll left click on the green check mark. And we'll move our cursor on the underside surface. When that surface becomes highlighted, we'll right click, left click on sketch, move our cursor to the circle icon, and we'll move the cursor along the line to see if we can locate the midpoint of both these lines. That saves us the trouble of having to dimension. And sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. There we go. We'll left click once, drag that circle out, and we'll right click, select, we'll left click on smart dimension, we'll move the cursor to the edge of the circle, left click one time, we'll enter 0.5, Then we'll hit the green check mark. And then we'll right click, left click on exit sketch, left click on extrude cut, and we'll go with the 1-inch extruded cut distance. We'll left click on the green check mark. And we'll left click out on the workspace to hide that sketch. Now we'll need to save this part. So I will save this as File, Save As. And I'm just going to left click on Cam Case. Then we'll start a new drawing. Same way we always do. Left click on the white piece of paper, left click on Part, left click on OK. And we're now going to draw the lifter that will be used in this assembly. We'll left click on Sketch, left click on the sketch icon, move our cursor to the front plane. When it becomes highlighted, we left click. We'll right click, left click on Display Grid. We'll move our cursor to the circle command. We'll left click on Circle. We'll move our cursor to the origin. We'll place the center of this circle on the origin. We'll left click, and we'll right click, select, left click on Smart Dimension, left click on the edge of the circle. This will be dimension to a distance of 0.625. And we'll left click on the green check mark. We'll zoom in here a little. Then we'll right click, left click on Exit Sketch. We'll left click on the Features tab. We'll left click on Extruded Boss Base. And we will extrude this to a distance of 0.125. Then we'll left click on the green check mark. We'll left click out in this workspace to hide that sketch. And we'll right click, left click on Sketch. We'll left click on the circle icon. We'll move the circle center to the center of the existing solid right there on the origin. We'll left click one time. We'll drag that circle out, left click, right click, select, left click on Smart Dimension. Move the cursor to the edge of the circle. We'll left click one time. We'll enter 0.5. We'll right click on the green check mark, left click on the green check mark, sorry. Then we'll right click, exit sketch, left click on Extruded Boss Base. We'll enter a 1 for the extrusion distance. And we'll left click on the green check mark. Then we'll left click out in the workspace, left click on Save As, and we'll save this as Lifter 1. Left click on Save. And that concludes this module on the construction of these two parts. We will construct the cam lobe and use some of the add relations tools in the next module.